Hey guys, happy Friday. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about Westside Extreme Wrestling, my favorite independent wrestling promotion. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Westside Extreme Wrestling, they are an independent wrestling promotion based in Oberhausen, Germany. They've been in existence since the year 2000, and since then they have had a lot of big names on their shows. Their roster currently is so unbelievably just stacked and incredible and talent filled that I would put it up against anywhere else in the world. This promotion is so inspiring and just beautiful and magical and creative and smart and fantastic, and I'm so excited to get to talk to you guys about them. They recently had their first marquee event of the year, which is called Back to the Roots, and that started off with a bang, a huge shock. Mario Solani is back. He is back from his 3-month suspension. He was suspended for an altercation at ringside with a fan, and he came out to a warm reception from the crowd, and I was happy to see him back. He's a staple of wXw. He grabbed the mic and proceeded to blur the lines between reality and fantasy, between reality and story, and he talked about his suspension and that he admittedly lost control and that he had did his time and paid his debts, but that's what happens when you try and come at somebody and personally insult them and personally go after them, and that he feels that he reacted that way when he's insulted by somebody, especially when there's somebody that's not even on his level. Somebody that does not have the things that he has in life. And he proceeded to attack the fans, saying that they are not on his level, family-wise, relationship-wise, personally, professionally, looks-wise, body type-wise. And then out comes Levaniel. And I thought this was great. I thought that Levaniel is a great first opponent for Mario Solani. Levaniel is somebody that when he debuted on the main roster in wXw, I thought would be a heel. He comes off as very smug and arrogant, cocky, pretty boy, preachy. But the fans love him because he proclaims himself to be a vessel of love. And that's the message that he wants to spread. He wants to just talk about love. And he is the perfect person to come to the defense of the fans. Unfortunately for him, Alani picked up the W and then proceeded to pick up the mic and proclaim his intention to enter the 16 karat gold tournament. Just real quick, for those of you unfamiliar with 16 karat gold, it is one of Europe's biggest wrestling tournaments. It is wXW's biggest event of the year. It is a 3-day tournament at the beginning of March. And Lucky Kid won that last year. A lot of big names have won that. So Marius threw his hat in the ring for that and intends to do the same. And then someone's music hits. And out comes Cara Noir. Wow. Okay, so if you don't know who Cara Noir is, rest assured you will soon. His stock is rising. He is, I want to say a star, but it's an understatement at this point. The level elevation, the trajectory his career is on right now. He is shooting for the stars. He is incredible. Wrestling talent it's subjective. I understand that, but I challenge you, Google him. Look him up online, look him up on YouTube. He's had a lot of killer matches in progress. Against Pete Dunne, he had 2 against Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov vs. Noir 2 was one of my absolute favorite matches of 2019. I had tears in my eyes when it was over. I'm kind of lying. I was sobbing my eyes out, honestly. He's very intense in the ring. He's a theatrical character. He is an emotional character. He is a freaking solid wrestler. He is so charismatic. you don't want to blink when he's on. He's amazing. I'm rambling on, but oh my god, Cara Noir, those fans, like, oh, you could hear it too. Like, the camera was really good at picking up individual people when his music hit. Oh my god, that's Cara Noir. Oh my god. Like, what a surprise. Like, oh my god. My friend Sebastian was there live, and dude, you're so lucky to get to see that, to have that surprise live. Like, Cara Noir. I am excited because Cara Noir was announced for the Progress show in Tampa that I will be front row for, so I get to see Cara Noir live too. I'm so excited about that. So yeah, anyways, Cara comes out. They put 16 karat gold on the screen. The fans start chanting 16 karat gold. Everyone's freaking out. I'm freaking out. I got tears in my eyes. Oh, what a big moment. It was one of those moments where you just need to take a step back. You need to pause it for a minute and just be like, wow, what an opening segment. Like, you just need a minute. Okay? So, whew, take a minute. All right. So then, cut to an interview with Lucky Kid, who, as I just mentioned, if you're unfamiliar with Lucky Kid, he won last year's 2019 16 gold tournament. So he said that he is in a good place now. He has had a very turbulent 2019 since winning 16 karat gold. He went through a break from his former stablemates, Rise. They had a very emotional, heated feud. Two of their members, Even Kiev and Pete Bouncer, formed Purge Club and went on to have a long-standing feud with Lucky. Over more than just a feud, over a falling out of what was like a family to Lucky. He's a very trusting individual. He had his heart broken. He's a very sympathetic character. But he said that he's putting all that behind him. He's in a good place right now. He is still on track. He recently beat Cassius Ohno, so he's doing really well for himself. And he did, later on, pick up the win against Scotty Davis. But what I noticed in that match was, for me, Lucky's words and his actions weren't really on the same page. Lucky seemed very flustered and frequently frustrated during the match. He picked up the win, but just barely. He didn't really seem himself. He didn't really seem the crazy, happy, jovial, happy-go-lucky kid that we're used to. So, is he just trying to put on a brave face? Is he really past all this? Are you okay, Lucky? You know, I'm just concerned, you know, so, but hey, he picked up the win in his match against Scotty Davis, so hopefully he can stay the course, and, you know, hopefully things will continue to go well for him, and he can get himself, back, on track, maybe in the title picture, or, you know, just stay that positive course. So then we had an interview with Alexander James, followed by an interview with Jurn Simmons, and those two are in a very heated rivalry that has gotten very personal, and their match is actually the main event of the evening. They used to be a tag team, used to be good friends. Alexander James turned on Jurn Simmons, made it very personal. Alexander James's girlfriend, Killer Kelly, was involved in the feud and kind of discarded by Alexander James. So Alexander James' major point in all this is he will stop at nothing to destroy Jurn Simmons. So we'll see if he can do that in the main event. So the next match was Golden Boy Santos versus Rotation. Rotation picked up the win there. And then we cut to a promo clip of wXw's previous marquee event, telling the story and the budding relationship of wXw Women's Champion Amal and wXw Commissioner Karsten Beck. Amal has made several flirtatious advances to Karsten, and he seems to be finally reciprocating those. And he seems quite smitten with her. And her with him? Or is it just that he is somebody that's in a position of power? Amal also called out former wXw Women's Champion Melanie Gray and her boyfriend, Alpha Kevin. And Melanie Gray was a little hesitant to get in the ring, but Kevin can be kind of a hothead, and he got quite heated over Amal's not so pleasant comments towards Melanie Gray, and he came to her defense. So we're going to fast forward to present time. So that was the clip, and then at Back to the Roots, the next thing that happened was Lavagno came out again. So he wanted to talk because he feels this is his department. He is the vessel and the vehicle for love, and he loves seeing love, he loves spreading the message of love, but not at the expense of professionalism. Amal. So Lavagno pretty much says, I think that people should be happy in love, and I love the relationship of beautiful people in love, but you shouldn't be with Karsten, you should be with me. So, I guess Karsten's got a little competition then. And then Melanie Gray and Kevin and Karsten, we get the whole gang, everybody comes out. Melanie, again, a little hesitant to get in the ring. Last we seen her in wXw was a few years back, and she from my understanding, she was barred from working the marquee events. This was a few years back, so I'm going to be honest. Sebastian in the comments, if you want to help me out with the Melanie Gray storyline. I'm not positive what exactly happened there. I know I personally miss seeing Melanie Gray. I'm a big fan of hers. So if we can get her back in the scene, but it looks like Karsten felt the same way, and he had an idea. Being the wXw commissioner, he decided that he wants to make a match for the next show, which is in Bielefeld, and he wants Melanie and Kevin to team up to take on Amal, and Karsten would have loved to have been in the tag team himself with Amal, but he is injured. He cannot do that. He can no longer actively compete, so he chose Lavagno to be Amal's partner. So we had an interesting development there. All right, so next, something that wXw likes to do that I'm a really big fan of, and I think this is great for new viewers too. The next match was the Shotgun title match, which was Jay Skillet versus Absolute Andy. They like to show the title history before the match. And so I just want to run down a few of the people who have been former wXw Shotgun champions, just to show the level of talent that has been in this company throughout the years. You have names, former Shotgun champions like Ilya Dragunov, Axel Tischer, who is Alexander Wolf now in WWE, Mason Ryan, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bates, DeMac, Angelico, and Chris Brooks, are just to name a few. So the Shotgun title match was between Jay Skillet, who's the current champion, and Absolute Andy, one of his closest friends. Anytime these two come out, you know you will be entertained. I am a huge fan of both these guys. I absolutely love them both. I'm a big Jay Skillet fan. I think he is so charismatic. I think he's honestly got the best facial reactions, in my opinion, in the entire business. He's such a talented actor. But he's so funny, and so is Andy. Andy is so funny, and when they come out, you know you're going to be in for a good show. So it started off really playful because they're best friends. They're part of the same squad, along with Jay Skillet's tag team partner, who is currently injured, who is Francis Caspin. They formed the team, JFK. But they've been buddying up with Absolute Andy. And so the three of them are really close friends. So this match started out just really playful, really fun, kind of comical. And so they did a few little silly light bumps and, just little playful spots. And Jay lays down and Andy gets on top of him. And 1, 2... kick out. And so Jay gets up, looks at Andy. I know we discussed this in the back. I know how bad you want to be Shotgun champion, but I tried to do what we talked about previously, but I can't do it. I can't just lay down for you. So he's like, I'm trying. I'll try. I can't do it, though. So they go through their little lighthearted motions again. Andy gets on top of him. Jay kicks out again. I can't do it. Look at this title. Jay brings the title into the ring, shows it to Andy. It's so beautiful. Can't we just compete for it? So the match starts off, and as it progresses, it starts getting into a normal competitive match. And so then we even start to see them pull out some little tactics. Absolute Andy grabbed a chair, and Jay Skillett went to the other corner, and he grabbed the title, and they came at each other, and they thought the better of it. So then the ref gets in the way. He's trying to break that up. Chaos ensues. And then Absolute Andy decides to feign a low blow. So he's down, and he got hit in the unmentionables. And so the ref, Andy, if you're hurt, if you got hit there, if Jay did that to you, that's a disqualification. You don't win the title, and all of a sudden Andy's feeling a little better down. It might have been the thigh. Maybe it wasn't a little higher up. Maybe it was just the thigh. So all of a sudden Andy is miraculously cured, and then the ref goes to help him out and assist him, and his back is turned, and Jay goes down. And Jay got hit in the unmentionables. Or did he? So, anyways, they're up to their old little shenanigans here. The referee's distracted with all that. Basically, a series of roll-ups and small packages. Jay picks up the 3. So, Jay Skillett, still your shotgun champion. Really good stuff. Really entertaining match. Probably my favorite match of the night. I know it sounds weird explaining it. You would have to just go back and check it out on the wXw Now network, which I'd highly recommend. If you need to be sold further on them, check out some, clips on YouTube, Westside Extreme Wrestling. I highly recommend getting wXw Now network, though. It's fantastic. All the quality, all the content that you get. Back to the show, though. So then they started advertising their new fall festival, which in the past has been named World Tag Team League. It was World Tag Team Festival, and now it's going to be a Catch Tag League, or a Catch Tag Festival. This takes place, it's usually in the fall. It's usually in October. I think they said this one's going to be the end of September, 3 days. And they're advertising it as a mix of classic and modern style. So, Catch German Tag Tournament. That sounds really exciting. I'm interested in it. So, we'll see as more information comes out about that. That's their fall festival. So, next we have the wXw, which is German for cage match. And basically how this goes, it's 2 teams. We had Bobby Gunn's team, which was Bobby Gunn's the Pretty Bastard and Norman Harris. And then we had David Starr's team, which was David Starr, Avalanche, Leon Van Gasteren, and Julian Pace. And 2 men started the match, which was Bobby Gunn's and Avalanche, and this is Avalanche's wheelhouse, is the wXw. He's won every one that he's been in, so he's like Mr. wXw. But, so, basically every 5 minutes thereafter, a new person comes in. The match can only be won by submission, and it ended up going to David Starr. David Starr tapped out Norman Harris. So there is a lot of history going back to Tag League with all those guys. Norman Harris he was tag team partners in Tag League with David Starr. He turned on David Starr. He joined Bobby's group. Leon and Julian both separately got taken out by somebody that the Pretty Bastards hired to... Pretty Bastards thought that they kind of pretended to be friends with Julian and Leon thought that they genuinely were their friends until it finds out that they had hired the Bastards had hired somebody to, Pretty Bastards had hired somebody to take them out so they could take their place in Tag League. Just a long backstory there, a lot of drama, not enough time to get into it, unfortunately. Brings us to our main event of the evening, which was a barbed wire steel cage match with Alexander James and Urine Simmons. I originally questioned to myself why the wXw wasn't the main event. It felt like it should have been. Had 3 champions in that match. But also them Team Bobby losing. You know, it as much as I'm a huge Bobby Guns fan, that outcome made sense to me. It's a, you know, easy way for David and his team to go over without any titles changing hands, without making Bobby's squad look bad. I thought maybe that would, you know, the K-Fix flag felt like it should be the main event. But then Jurn Simmons and Alexander James came out and showed me why they deserve to be the main. Barbed wire steel cage match. Crazy match. Yeah, a lot of, not necessarily for the things that you would normally think done in a hardcore match, but for the passion that those guys show when they're in the ring together, how much they further their story, how much they use emotions to fuel that feud. So they did a fantastic job on that. Jurn Simmons picked up the win on that. And then to end the night, we cut to a few promos backstage, pretty much furthering storylines. The main one, since we're running a little long on the video, the main one I want to focus on, and I hold wXw to a very high standard. This was an amazing show, but even after the main, I just felt like there should be more. And then we got the bomb dropped on us. So this was huge news, and something that emotionally was crazy for me. Bobby Guns is going to be defending his title against David Starr in a match where if David Starr loses, he will leave wXw. I don't want that. I don't want Bobby Guns to lose the title either. Bobby Guns is probably my favorite wrestler in wXw. It's a tough call. There's so much good talent, but I am a gigantic Bobby Guns fan. I don't want to see that title going anywhere. Somehow it just doesn't feel the same when Bobby Guns isn't champion in that promotion. It just makes sense when he's the champion. I don't know how to better explain that, but either way, the loser of that match is me, because I don't want David Starr to leave and I don't want Bobby to drop the title, but one of those things is going to happen. We'll find out in Bielefeld. Everybody, enjoy the Royal Rumble this weekend. Enjoy Worlds Collide. Hope I gave you some good knowledge about wXw. Hope you become a fan. Hope you look up stuff about them because they are so awesome. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff.